Is that is
He's
that
at 33.05. Somebody just said he beat Magnus' record or he just tied Magnus's record. Crazy.
so? Magnus's peak was 33.05, or was it
Yep.
33? Unbelievable. Wait, so if he wins this game, Danny, this is record watch. We gotta watch. We gotta watch
This
this
is it.
game.
We could be about to witness Firouzja going into the record books here against Sergey Zilgako. If
Oh
he
no, it
wins
is the
this
record.
game,
It is the record. Magnus was 33.04.
that's it. We
Well,
just watched history with Firouzja beating Tang in a position he really didn't have any business winning, but that's what you do in Bullet. And Firouzja is now the all-time record holder of the highest ever peak rating for Bullet on Chess.com.
Danny, you wanna make a post so that chat can clip this? Maybe we can tweet it later.
Yeah, we should. Somebody please. Somebody please. I know it's against my style to be awkward on camera. LOL. But please clip this so that we can congratulate Firouzja on
Amazing.
passing Magnus Carlsen's all-time record. Put the gun away, George. We bullets for these chess games. On April 3rd, the first ever Chess.com Bullet Chess Championship gets started with the first of two qualifiers. On Friday, we'll have a round-robin event, and all three of these players will join 5 of the most elite Bullet players on the planet. Unofficial Bullet Chess champion Hikaru Nakamura will be defending his title versus Sergey Karyakin, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, Alexander Grishuk, and Levon Aronian. And as we said, 3 qualified players means it's anybody's game. Tune in on April 6th and 7th when this 8-player elite bracket goes down, and join us for live commentary at twitch.tv/chess, chess.com TV, and everywhere tickets are sold. Be there. And we are live with the first ever Chess.com Bullet Chess Championship. I have the pleasure to be alongside the one, the only international master, Levy Rozman, and we are going to have some fun today. Levy, are you ready?
Oh, Danny, I'm so excited. We've been getting hype for the past 5-10 minutes. first time show, first time also co-hosting a big show with you. I can't be like I said to you before we started. It's the equivalent of getting some change from your parents, going around to the arcade in
Going,
the afternoon.
That's what this is going to be. This is going to be like a big arcade. We're going to be like that pong ball going back and forth, which is often how I felt between my parents when I was a kid, but that's a different story. That's for therapy. Let's dive into what these players are playing for today. Let's bring up the bracket and remind everybody exactly who the big names are competing in this year's Bullet Chess Championship. Already confirmed, Levy, we have names. Well, obviously it starts right there at the top, the 1 seed, Hikaru Nakamura. And the list there below him, guys like Levon Aronian, Sergei Karyakin, Sasha Grishuk, and then, of course, Maxime Vacher-Lagrave. But I look at this bracket, and I think that maybe some of the best players, some of the players with the most potential to win the event, aren't even in the final 8 yet.
Yeah, I would agree. At the moment, we're starting this tournament in 9 minutes. We've already got 225 people signed up. And, well, if you go look at the starting lineup, how many 3000s do we have in here? And I feel like all of them are feature names.
Yeah,
I mean, we have...
It's going to be amazing. Let's remind everybody what the format is today of the event that these players are coming into. Of course, it is a title players only tournament, and that's not to discriminate against non-title players, but unfortunately, probably we need to have some sort of limitation to give Hikaru Nakamura a run for his money along with those other Super Grandmasters. It's a 25-round Swiss tournament paired by Chess.com's live server pairing system, obviously. The winner earns a spot into the quarterfinals of that bracket you just saw. Places 2 through 4 earn spots into the round robin qualifier, which is going to be on Friday. So to clarify, we wanted to figure out as many ways as possible to get people into this event, and we figured that only one person can win today's event, Levy. Only one person can win tomorrow's event, with you and Grandmaster Robert Hess on the call. But the places 2nd through 4th are also getting something here, so 3 people will earn a spot to Friday's round robin. And if a qualifying spot is won by the same person, let's say Firouzja decides to play every qualifier and win them, well, he'll get to choose his seed if somebody actually won today and tomorrow's event. But indeed, if someone does win both, the next spot will go, the spot for the qualifying person will go to the next person in line. So there's other prizes on the line here as well, though. Not bad for a couple hours. We've never done this kind of cash money homie for a bullet event. Levy, what do you think? I mean, not bad price for just a couple hours of work, right?
Oh, I think this is great. Hey, if I could get paid this much to play Bullet, I might never do another chess lesson ever again.
Hey, well, we're getting to that anyway, right? I mean, chess shows all over the place these days. Let's remind everybody. Speaking of chess shows all over the place, what comes up after the Bullet Championship here? Well, the SCC is getting set to start, and this year it's going to be bigger, badder than ever. Levy Rozman will have the call on numerous of the events, starting with the JSCC. Of course, the Women's Speed Chess Championship, not even sure it's announced yet, but that will actually be hosted by none other than Anna Rudolph and Sopoko Giramashvili. They will have the call on every event. Anna and Sopoko, the dream team, back together again. And then we'll have the main event, of course. But, all right. We just had one event come to a close yesterday, Levy, and we want to remind everybody that tickets are on sale now before we shift our full focus and attention here to the Bullet Chess Championship, where you and I, like I said, like you said, try to keep up with the Bullet Chess here. But the finals in San Francisco, the tickets are on sale. We hope to see every single one of you there. I hope that we're turning people away at the door to try to get in. That's the goal. And I understood we did pretty well yesterday, actually, with tickets going on sale, so I was pretty excited to hear that. But for now, it's Bullet.
It is Bullet, Danny. I was just going to say that you might be turning people away if they know that I'm actually going to the Pro Chess League finals as a spectator.
Are you going?
I am going. I'm going to be there.
Dude.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a great thing. It's a great thing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. If you can use the command PCL tickets as said below there, and we're gonna have a blast there in San Francisco. We're gonna have a blast today. So let's try to get a visual here of the list of the players that are in the event right now, so we can start doing some some pregame discussion here. I mean, it starts right there at the top. There's somebody rated 3301 in this event, Levy.
Yeah,
explain to everybody what that means.
Well, I'm a Bullet fan, but when I see a person like Firouzja 2003, if anybody doesn't know who that is, that's Alireza Firouzja, superstar, in the making, superstar already. I mean, how
Yep.
would you categorize him? Highest rating ever, Bullet, Chess.com, right? Something like that.
I think he does own the record, which is shocking, knowing that Hikaru Nakamura plays there regularly. But not many people spend the kind of hours that Ferrugia does. And one question I think on a lot of people's minds, and I'm just going to ask it. I mean, you and I are both friends of Hikaru. Obviously, congratulations again to Hikaru winning the U.S. Championship. A lot of people look at him as this is his event to win, and who can really take him. But if Ferrugia has his A game going, tell me why you think that might be. If you're Hikaru right now, are you hoping Ferrugia doesn't win this event and therefore take the spot to play him in the first round?
No, I would categorize it as Hikaru. I mean, I don't know whether he wants or doesn't want him to win, but I think Hikaru would welcome that challenge. I think if there's
Right.
anyone in this tournament that he wants to see in a final, it's not any of those super GMs, it's Firouzja. And he has
Yep.
stated on multiple occasions that he's not particularly fond of playing Bullet on stream against Firouzja, because Firouzja actually has the capability in Bullet to get over 50% in a long match. But I would say that out of all the 250 players we have signed up, this is his biggest challenge. But Danny, that's not to take away from the nearly dozen 3000s we have here. We got Sergei Zhigalko, Penguin GM, Vladimir Fevseev, and we'll keep an eye also on Shant Sargsyan, right?
Yep.
From Armenia. He's going to go to San Fran, so.
Yep, he'll be there, assuming, of course, we don't know Armenia's lineup,
Yeah,
but assuming
yes.
that, why wouldn't he? He performed super, super well all year, and I think for many people, he was their pick for Rookie of the Year, given it was his debut season. So, Sargsyan, who else do we have here? Obviously, we've got well-known names, including somebody that I'm gonna highlight as a dark horse to win this whole thing, actually, and that is number 16. That's Latches IQ. That is the man known as Jan Nepomniachtchi.
Mm-hmm.
He's not as highly rated. He's not even over 3,000. That sounds like such an insult to say these days. Wow, he's only 2,900, right?
I know.
But I mean, that's a guy who, when you look at some of the top elite players in the world who might have a chance to win the whole thing, you got to think of Nepo as somebody who doesn't throw down in those long online sessions that guys like Tang and Nakamura and Ferrugia are famous for. So what is he capable of when he really brings his A game, right? We're going to find out.
Yeah, and it's one thing we should also point out for everybody is that this is a Swiss. It's different than usual. Normally, you see these 1-0 Arena Kings kind of tournaments. Speed Chess Championship is head to head, and it's 1-1, which is different. If you're winning in a position, you can use that time, repeat a little bit, and then convert an endgame. Here, it's 1-0. I mean, you're playing the clock here, and it's also important to note that pre-moves do cost time, right? So we'll see how they manage their time. And I will say one thing: I'm not a GM, but I have played my share of them in Bullet. Bullet is weird because you can start slowly in a match and then speed up and win a lot of games in a row. And I think flow is really important. And how does that work in a Swiss? Every opponent is new. Every opponent is different. I don't know. I mean, I don't have the answers. We're about to find out.
No, that's a great point, and I was going to ask you. I mean, you are a very strong Bullet player, much stronger than myself. So besides the obvious answer of I would finish 100 spots ahead of you, Danny, how would you finish in a tournament like this? How would you fare against these guys? Do you think?
Well, you did. We talked a little bit maybe last week or so, and you did bring this idea to me, like, why don't you consider playing? And I'm going to be honest. I'm not even sure I'd score 50%.
It's just so insane, right?
It's totally insane. Someone in chat said, I'd get wrecked. And I'm not even going to sit here and disagree because like I said, I mean, one-off games against IMs and GMs, anything can happen. And I'm not going to lie. I've actually felt the nerves in these tournaments. Now, that was on stream. I don't know how I would fare sitting without the camera on, but I mean, I would say 10 out of 25 from myself, but I don't know if that's humble or what. But
no, I mean it's I think it's humble, and I think but it may also be true, as you said, right? I mean, there's a lot of really, really strong guys here. I mean, there's Sasha Grishik, by the way. Let's remind everybody that you are not limited from playing in this event, even if you are already seated in the bracket of 8, and that's something that Sasha Grishik is reminding everybody right now, as he just popped up as the 7th seed over 3,000. He's going to be playing here. Amongst the top 10, of course, you see the man Penguin GM. I think a lot of people want to see how Andrew Tang can fare here at 3,100. You already mentioned Sean Sargsyan. Big Fish 95. That is Fedosea for those who don't know. And for
And
those
games
who
are underway.
don't know, guess what? Those who don't know, now you know Faruja, because he's about to bring it. I'm bringing up games like Rapid Fire here. I've got Tang taking on a FIDE Master who, frankly, I don't know who he is. Faruja's taking on someone. We got Grishuk and Chess Queen. That's Russian on Russian action there. Yell at me if you see a matchup that you want, Levy. I'm just kind of scrolling here at this point. This is round one, so this is like the candy store. We're allowed to
Yes.
go in, and like your parents aren't giving you pressure yet to just pick one candy. Right now,
Yes.
you and I get to like look at all the candy, and at some point it's going to be like pick one candy because this is a bullet game, and you have to focus on one.
You know what? Well, we already have some winners, by the way. We already have some people scoring 1 out of 1. I don't know if that's forfeit, full point buy, or what's going on. Sergei Zhigalko has won his game by checkmate over at 2,500.
Oh my
Why don't we
god.
go to Ferrugia? Let's go to Ferrugia. He's got
Okay.
an end game, and we can get instructive here, Danny.
Yep. All right. Okay. We're in an instructive endgame. It'll be instructive at least from a bullet perspective. Okay. The nice rook lift. B7 falling.
G3, King F3. I mean, it's going to be like Danny said, everybody. 1-0 bullet can only be sporadically instructive. Time is important. Various means of playing solid chess. And, I'm not even going to lie, your internet provider can also help you sometimes.
No, it's true, right? The internet provider and you're just internet provider on that day. Sometimes these companies, experience lag, and one of the difficult things about facing off against someone like Faruja in a spot like this, Levy, is not only is he the only one who could ever win, but the fact that it should be a draw is irrelevant when you consider that there's no increment. And he's just working it. This is like a walk in the park for him. He's just going to milk this position until Black loses on time.
Yeah, I'm looking at upset watch, seeing if anybody's gonna have any first round jitters here. But it looks like Penguin has already won his game very effortlessly.
As has Jeffrey Zhang, who I did not see in the initial lineup, but obviously for good reason. He's only rated 28-27 at bullet here.
Danny Fedoseev might get flagged. Big Fish. He's looking like
Big Fish. Let me bring it up. I'm coming. Where is it?
Oh,
there it is. I got it.
Oh, white traded rooks.
He's got 3 seconds, though. Look at him move. He's pre-moving himself into a victory.
Danny,
no. He's a guy. Oh, my God. He drew that, dude.
No. He won it.
Oh, I thought he was white. I thought he was white.
White.
Oh, my gosh. This is good. Are we ready for this? I didn't take my omegas this morning. I need my fish oils, my anti-anxiety.
Danny, this is nuts. I really don't know if I'm ready for this.
I know, this is going to be so much fun. Okay. In terms of games left, Faruja is still playing, although, okay, commentator's curse. As soon as I click on it, it's done. Grishuk indeed beat the Chess Queen. The last game, it looks to me, is this game. Oh, Just Mig did indeed win. I'm trying to figure out.
Nothing has changed, it looks like, in terms of scoring. I don't see too many upsets in the 29s and 2800s.
Yep.
Penguin GM just won on move 1. His opponent
just didn't show up or resigned.
Yeah, he might have just resigned after he got his pairing. This is the type of fear that Penguin instills in people.
Oh, wait, round 2 is already underway, and Penguin GM has already won again.
Yeah. All right, well, Faruja's up against 2644. I mean, tournaments like this they just blow my mind.
So let me talk about bullet strategy then, because I think, obviously, as you said, this is going to be difficult to be instructive today. People know what they're in for. We're all in for this ride, everybody. Strap your seatbelt. I'm buckling into the office chair. We're on the same ride as you, okay? We're just enjoying these guys who are incredible at their craft. But I want to ask you from a strategy perspective of how you get good at bullet, Levy, because are you one of these guys who just believes that, being sharp tactically and playing really fast, mouse speed, let's not lie, bullet is pretty much an online only expertise skill. There are some over the board bullet, for fun, like you're at a chess camp and everyone's, having a few.
Yep.
But overall it's an online thing. But how do you get good at bullet in your mind? Are you playing the same opening repertoire you would so that you get the same types of positions and then you can make more intuitive decisions based on patterns? Or are you a guy who's like, look, as long as you're sharp tactically, a queen just hung on me.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
As long as I'm going to open up another game, but as long as you're sharp tactically and just play fast, is that all it really takes? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. You almost went in a loop there. Like you asked, and I was about to say that, and you were like, "Is it this?" And well, now I have to come up with something a little bit more creative. So
No, do
yes,
it. I
it's
can be long-winded at times. I apologize. Go for it.
no. You summed it up very well. The best way to do it is to play a lot of games, and you need to be very sharp with your tactical patterns. Like if you ever notice, even in Hyper Bullet, people play out 3 to 4 move combinations on pre-move, and that makes really clippable moments because
Right.
you kind of anticipate everything. If you ever watch an Andrew Tang or an Ali Reza game, I think Sergei Zhigalko missed mate in one, by the way, in the game that I'm looking at. I will come over to Big Fish. Uh,
I'm in the Big Fish game.
that's what it comes down to. I think the opening is not necessarily the most important thing in the world, but I think that uh, 10 seconds could be worth a pawn, 15 seconds could be worth a pawn,
Right.
maybe 5 seconds. Chat would disagree with me. So
Well, here we see Grigori up a piece, but he's actually down on the clock. We'll see if he can find his way to pre-move F4. Those are the kind of tricks you only see in Bullet.
And Amon made a great video for Chess.com in terms of Bullet strategy. Like this pre-moving strategy by Aparin is abysmal. Oh, and he's gonna mate.
He had mate and he missed it. He's gonna draw. Oh my gosh, everybody! He got himself in a perfect spot. Bishop D6 was checkmate.
I was out here criticizing his strategy, and he had mate on the board. Unbelievable.
He had mate on the board in the end, and then he played Bishop G7 instead.
Wow. And their games have begun. This is
their games have already begun. We're already in round 3. That's why this is going to be a fast-paced event. So tell everybody. I mean, we're obviously going to be talking some big picture stuff here. What makes Firouzja, in that elite class? Obviously, the kid is only 15. So if you see that number 2003, everybody, you're like, that can't be when he was born. Like 2003, that's not even a. He's not even a millennial. He's like a X-lennial with like X-Men skills and stuff. I mean, he's so young. It's bananas. But
he's Gen Z, Danny. And after that, we're gonna go back to AA. That's how it works. I mean,
yeah, Gen Z, right? He's as you said, he is the guy that I think many people believe probably should have been seeded directly into the quarterfinals bracket. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm saying that full transparency because I took some heat from certain people when I was criticized about it. And I said, well, he's 15. All right, let him qualify.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to deny he might be excited for the opportunity. And
right,
we were worried he would win both qualifiers. So, it's
absolutely. All right, well now he's in a better position. One thing I recognize about his style is he does find a way to play very simple positions for a win a lot, and I think he's a lot like Hikaru like that. Like this is a position that it's not even like something spectacular. I mean, I do kind of like white, the control over the D file, and the queen is really awkward over there. White can maybe quickly get an attack at some point, but it's that he's up on the clock always, right? He's always up on the clock with plenty of life left in the position, and it's just when you're playing these guys.
I've played Ali Reza maybe 5 or 6 times in 1-0. I've lost every game. I've played him in Hyper Bullet, and I have actually scored some games off of him. But, Danny, I'm not going to lie. Every single time on about move 10, 15, 20, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, how's he up 5 seconds? Like,
right.
He has this relentless pace. And the only games I've ever beaten him, weird flex, but okay. But, I gotta take my credit.
Go for it.
It's the games where I've been up on the clock, or I've been very equal on the clock, and I'm able to hit him with a tactic, or right. Here, Danny, he's struggling, but notice again the time edge for black. For Ali Reza for white. So
no, and like you said, it's and this is a game that even with the time edge here, I could visualize a mate here if he's not careful. He has to be really, his king is walking on landmines
Bishop
here.
E4, that's a problem. Oh, Queen D6 is a nice one, and maybe some endgame tricks. Bishop E4 he might play, but yeah.
If he holds onto that pawn, he's going to have to pre-move this one to a victory because he's not really in any position to win.
No way. And David is doing a really good job pre-moving G3, G2. Oh, and there's the trick. There we see it. Oh, and he's going to win another one.
Okay, but Bishop takes in, you're not even winning, are you? Maybe you are. G2. And Black's gonna win.
That's brilliant. Oh, he got him. All right, it's gonna be a draw. Well, Black would be winning, but Black has no time. Unreal. Unreal.
Wow, and this is maybe actually be one of the last games of this round right now, everybody. So we are right where we need to be. And this is the pre-tournament favorite getting upset. Okay, not with a loss, but with a draw. Um,
Yeah.
and uh, and okay,
Wow.
well we'll see how he recovers from that. Maybe it's a Swiss. You buy in that we might have a bit of a Swiss gambit strategy. I don't know. I'm kidding. Obviously, you want to win every game in bullet. There is no Swiss. The Swiss gambit, for those who don't know, is a joke about dropping a game early in a tournament so that you avoid some of the top players, gain some momentum beating on others, and then you play them in a later round with a chance to leapfrog them even though you're down half a point. Look at that. We see the old school bullet trick in the game with
Yes.
Hammer and Dulles. We see the bishop to h3 move
That's
that I've got on the board. Anyway, trying to get your opponent caught in a pre-move. That's just old school bullet fun there. What's that called again? You have a name for that.
well,
The
I mean, I don't know if I have a name for it, but it's been popular, popular terminology by the youngins is the fong is what it's.
the fonging.
Yes, but I don't think, and Dulles, that's Daniil Dubov. He must not watch a lot of Hammer because Hammer does this opening all the time. G3, Bishop G2, E3, knight E2, and
Yeah.
no one has ever hit him with Bishop H3, Bishop G2. So um, I think he should be a little bit more prepared for his opponents, but we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Although he's getting himself back in a weird position right now. Dubov is but gaining fame recently. He's actually uh, become well known as a second of Magnus, right?
Yeah,
Um,
training with him, training him. Um, Bishop
and
D5
actually
now.
currently the world rapid champion as well.
Yeah, he's super talented,
Yep.
and he's also very down to earth and approachable. I've watched some interviews with him after the World Rapid, and super nice guy. Love his philosophy, and here, unfortunately, his philosophy with Bishop H3 didn't quite work out, but he's got 21 more rounds. We have
Well,
two 4 out of 4s, Danny. Jospim and Andreka.
yeah, already they've already got four. We missed the game, and I just moved to Nihal Sarin's game versus a well-known streamer, friend of ours, Grandmaster Krikor.
Yeah, let's do it.
Big hype for that because one, Sarin is one of the youngest players in this event, also going to be competing in the Junior Speed Chess Championship. I think in a match that you're covering, Levy. Um,
Yes,
Nihal
yes.
Nihal Sarin and did just get a win. So this young man is also only 14 or 15 years old, I believe. For those of you who don't know, from India. So look. If you didn't know the name Nihal Sarin, you need to become more familiar with it. He'll be in the Junior Speed Chess Championship this year.
So I see you have Karanke up. Sergei Zhigalko, our second seed of the tournament, is about to go down to Chopper 1905. So,
Okay, I'm going to try to find that game.
if Black does not stalemate, this is a great idea, everybody. White is not taking any of the pawns. Oh, but Black very surgical. Queen E7, Queen D8.
Trying to find that game.
It just. But no, that was very very nice technique to win it.
These games are going so fast right now. I'm honestly struggling to keep up a little bit. Um,
our last game is almost done. This is a super time scramble. Both sides at about a
yep.
second, and White
White's
could.
gonna get D5.1.
Oh,
Oh, he lost. Oh, it's so painful. So painful.
That's so tragic.
With no time. No time.
Oh
Oh
man.
my gosh. It is honestly
Hammer
just
Ali Reza. It's Hammer Ali Reza time, and I mean,
yep.
we've got a
Let's
lot
do
of.
it.
Wow. We have how many people on 4 out of 4? A lot. That's the answer. E392. There it is from Hammer. Oh, and he's switching it up.
So what is this then? So this is an example of openings that clearly are bullet specialties, right? You're not playing this even in rapid in the Pro Chess League, not something Hammer would do. Um, and what's the mindset of somebody who likes these types of systems? I mean, probably the person who's most well known for being a system player specifically in Bullet and Blitz is of course Hikaru Nakamura, right? With the B3 systems that
Yep.
he greatly prefers and employs with incredible success. What are the thoughts on being a sort of system player in Bullet? What are the advantages of that from practical or psychological?
I'm not gonna lie. Hammer's setup in particular is so offbeat and weird that a lot of people get tilted by it. I've spoken to, decent players, grandmasters even, who are really frustrated when they play him or someone like Gerd Meyer. Both of those, both of
Yep.
them employ systems, and this causes people to go crazy when they play them, even in Blitz as well, but Bullets specifically. So
And again, not only so it can make people go crazy partly because they don't face it, but the other funny thing is that that he plays it so much more than others that he's always going to know the positions better,
Yeah.
right? Which lets you not only play faster, you catch people in blunders because you're
Ooh.
more familiar with the tactics than they are. Now rook takes c7 is a blunder. Oh, he had
Yes.
it.
Yeah, he had rook c7, queen b4. Wow, that was very nice. He could have gotten a win there over Alireza.
Yeah, Levy and I were both
Tactics
looking at
time.
that.
Man, Danny.
That may come back to bite him big time. This is the nerves you have when you face someone like Alireza, right? Because in this position, White was just totally winning with rook takes c7 and then queen takes d4. You're winning a piece. But now in the live game, I'm pretty sure Alireza is going to win because, well, okay.
His time is good, but his position is not. And
I was saying he was going to win because of time. And here
queen
comes
f2.
queen f2.
Uh-oh. Where's the mate? Alireza is a beast at this. Maybe just
Queen
prepare.
g1,
No
queen
way.
h1, going to bring the rook in. No, but then queen g5 happens. So you don't want to settle on if you move the rook from d5, everybody, queen g5 is a perpetual.
Yes.
So Alireza, he's
What?
going to allow it. No, he's going to hang his rook.
Wait, what is he?
Whoa!
Oh,
the
the mouse flip!
He missed it. Queen g6. Oh my gosh!
Wait, what's he doing? He
He
doesn't
had
see
a
that the rook
mouse
is hanging.
Oh my god!
He doesn't see that the rook is hanging. Or he didn't want to.
Oh man! Wow!
This is ridiculous.
Totally crazy right there. Okay, Meyer also in a totally crazy scramble, trying to get 4 out of 5.
Yep. And Grishuk is in another scramble, and Grishuk is going to go down.
Oh, I missed Grishuk's game. And again, we have just a few left here. I'm looking at Indian Elephant. Oh, never mind. That's a draw.
Wow.
And with that, I actually think that all the games quickly came to an end, and our standings leave us with a new leader right there with 5 out of 5.
Danny, we might see brother on brother action. We do see brother on brother action. The Bortniks are playing each other. Do you know who the Bortniks are?
Take me to this place.
This
Hold
is
on.
Alexander versus Mykola Bortnik. They're Ukrainian.
Alexander versus Mykola. Let's look at it.
Yes, this is incredible. They are
Averasov.
They actually have a website where they have a chess school in Ukraine, and they have a couple of other coaches. The two of them have like a brother's school, and they're really, really good players. We actually tried to pick them up on the New York Marshals. They were a little late responding to our emails. Spoiler alert, but you never know about next season. And these guys,
and this you can already feel the little brother action here, like the IM, lower rated. Now he's getting kind of bullied and pushed around by the older brother GM here.
Danny, White is Alexander is actually the younger brother.
Oh, really?
He's beating up on the old guy.
That shouldn't be surprising, right?
Knight d5, we got knight c7. I've played these guys a lot, and I got to tell you, it's a nightmare. They're nightmare matchups. They're so good tactically. They're so tough to beat, and this is just conversion.
I want to go back to a point you made earlier. I'm spying, and if you see a game, we haven't looked at Penguin's game yet. I'm going to check on Andrew, who's at 4 out of 5, so obviously dropped one earlier. You made a point that one of the things that defines Bullet very often is like that match setting, where when you throw down against somebody in Bullet, you're playing them like 20 games minimum, right? Yep. And often, as we see in epic sessions online, Hansen and Hikaru will throw down for 50 plus games, and I think that, as you said, there's so much momentum in that. There's so much flow in that. You can drop 3 games in a row, but then gather your emotions and then go on a run. This is going to be such a different experience for these guys because you don't get to like if you had Nepo play, one of these guys over and over again, you would think Nepo would win a lot of games, but he doesn't have time to recover. So any one of these GMs could beat someone like Firouzja or anybody else, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great example. In fact, look at what we're looking at. I mean, Andrew Tang is down 15 seconds on the clock.
And gets mated.
And he gets mated, right? By who? I mean, a person that we've never heard of, right? I mean, in terms of high bullet level chess. The same person that beat Strong Grandmaster, I don't remember who it was. It might have been Grishuk Chopper over here, Turkish player. I think this is Mustafa Yilmaz. Same story with him. Same kind of concept. You give Andrew Tang 20 games against the last opponent, he takes 15. But not here, because...
And that's revealing something I guess I haven't personally thought about as much in Bullet. Of course, I've, like you said, it's a game of flow, rhythm, all that stuff, and I agree and have thought about that. But I've never really thought about the fact that the best players are maybe have a certain skill that I was underestimating, which is their ability to recognize a weakness or poke at something in their opponent. Because the fact that they get 20 games, the reason they win those matches is even if they lose one, they recognize something. Or they're like, all right, I just need to speed up against this guy. I need to stop playing so good. Or against other guys, it's the opposite. You're like, look, this guy's just good with the mouse, and I need to make some good moves. In this setting, you don't have the time to sort of dissect and evaluate, right? There's no
No.
dossier of your opponent that helps Andrew Tang win a match. Again, totally different experience.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. You have to be consistently good. It's kind of this concept like if you're playing at an open chess tournament and you get the pairings not a week in advance like in a round robin, but you get them, 15, 20 minutes before the round, as I just said. It's not about preparation for the game and the person
Yep.
in particular. It's you got to know your stuff and you have to have a style. And well, I mean, we're about a quarter of the way done with this one, but that's why we see Bortnick with a perfect score because
Yep.
he's
And let's follow him for a minute because right now he's leading the pack with 6 of 6 and only 3 others with him right there. If you can see everybody, we're actually getting down to seeing who's going to make it through that first 7-8 game run and remain undefeated. Of course, a whole host of just absolute studs chasing the leaders. You've got Grishik and Firouzja right there in the top 10 as well. So. But Alexander Bortnick, so what can you tell us a little bit more about him? You said he is obviously has a brother in the tournament who he just destroyed. Poor older brother.
I know,
right?
No,
But what makes Bortnick so good?
Extremely quick, extremely consistent, I would say, and very, very good at calculation. I oftentimes find myself in these, like right now, we're seeing a crazy tactical skirmish. I find myself in these positions playing on instinct and much less calculation. It's really weird to describe. It's basically like that. That is the best description that I can give you. I have a feel for what's required in the position, whereas some of these guys are literally calculating. I mean, they can calculate everything that's about to happen. Like, look at this move, Queen D6 by Black. Hits D5, threatens Queen A3. What a nice move. And now we see this invasion, and let's see if Bortnick can wriggle his way out. Because again,
yeah, I don't know that he can. Here comes mate. He's offering a queen trade on Queen B1. Everybody. I expect Black to play Bishop H6. Actually, I've just spied that move, or maybe Bishop D4 at some point.
Look at this, just Rook. Look at Rook F5. What a move!
F5.
But King F1 and H4 and Rook H2. He's going to play, or Rook G2. This is the creativity that it takes to be a 3,000 rated player. Ridiculous defense. Look at this. I mean, what is he setting up here? This is incredible.
Yeah. And right now he's recognized that the shift is on. And by the way, we haven't talked much about the opponent. You know who that's Wojtaszek.
Danny's up a Rook. Danny's up a Rook. Look at this. I mean, he goes from completely lost. Now watch this time.
How did he do that?
Now watch his time.
And his Rook D5 is mate. Oh my God. Dude, that was ridiculous, right? He should have lost that game to Wojtaszek. And again, if you don't know, Radoslav is a great player from Poland. Maybe not as well known as somebody who I just brought up, who is also, by the way, not getting a lot of love from us, but Jan Krzysztof Duda is currently at 6 out of 7, who just won his game. In this round. So, all right, I'm going to check on Nihal Sarin. The young man is unfortunately down on the clock, but and going to be losing on the board, so it looks like he will actually fall now.
I can't get over that game. I'm sorry. I know we've got Firouzja.
No, it's okay. Firouzja's game with Chopper is where I'm at now.
But, wow. All right, so this is a case, actually. I said this earlier. There's a Rook. Everything's falling. Wow, this is incredibly tense. Both of them are getting, their lag compensation, but 1 second on the that's a flag.
0 seconds, and he ends up flagging Chopper. And again, that was really interesting because as you were saying, the Rook was hanging on H2, but back in this critical moment, this is where players shift everybody in Bullet from skill to just time scramble. The reason you see those blunders, obviously, White was playing a pre-move Rook takes H2. And expecting that Black had to keep the bishop to stop the passed pawn. Of course, now I can't even show it. But okay, that's why those things happen. And where are we at in the standings now as the next round begins, Levy? We've got Bortnick atop the leaderboard with 7 out of 7. And who is this user named Jospim?
That's Alcantara. He's going to be playing the Junior Speed Chess Championship, right?
Ah, okay, there you go.
Yeah,
I invited all these guys and had email exchanges with them. I admit I don't even know half their usernames.
Well, I mean, that's because, and again, I talk about this on Pro Chess League. Some of these guys have usernames like Alexander_Bortnick, and some of them are Jospim, and
right.
Some of them are Chubby Bear 473.
Right. Some of them are, what was the guy with the fat panda, whatever,
yes.
and then there's Poland. I mean, you wouldn't know who Polish Fighter 3000 is probably without JKD's Jan Christoph Duda's success in the Speed Chess Championship, and he's kind of become a household name here on Chess.com. And Firouzja, obviously his last name in the username, but yeah, I got to hand it to you. You seem to actually know a lot of these top player usernames. That's probably because you throw down against them at a level that I'm simply not familiar with.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. That might be the case. I'm gonna look up my score against Jospin. 2 wins, 7 losses. I don't even know how I got those 2 wins. I'm not gonna lie. I might have paid them off.
2 wins more than I got. Um, in fact, that's actually a great stat we'll try to come up with at some point, maybe in the round robin. Is our personal records against these guys be fun. But all right, let's focus here, everybody. This is a game that clearly matters for the standings. Alexander Bortnik, as Levy said, is just right now he's tearing through the field, but this is the only remaining undefeated battle. 7-on-7 action here. Bortnik is trying to get surgical with the rooks here. That king might get himself mated on g5.
Wow, this is super tense. I mean, look at this defense. But we already saw Bortnik's incredible defensive abilities, right? I mean, he was completely lost. It was a jump of the game.
Yeah.
And look at this. Now here comes the surge of time. He's going to overtake his opponent on the clock, and he's so good at this prediction. It's just incredible.
His instincts on those pre-moves are just insane, right?
Yep. Now he's going to pre-move once back to h3. That's my prediction. Yep.
Now I think he might end up taking the perpetual if he has to with king h2 because you don't want to move the rook from the g5. Oh, now you can. That was a big mistake by white because now black can pre-move more.
Yeah, and that was a mistake. You're absolutely right. So first of all, it's a draw by black, but black is coming in with the king, Danny. King g4, king g3.
He wants to mate him. He's going to check now that the rook's protected.
Wow,
he's got
Bortnik wins. And Bortnik wins.
So how do you handle that? I mean, because I know it seems crazy that we're analyzing Bullet and the great Nezhmedinov rolls over in his grave. But, I mean, we're analyzing Bullet. It's too late, Nezhmedinov. We're doing it. I mean, one of the things I said quickly, right, because I'm obviously, not nearly at the level a lot of you guys are, but I'll stop pointing that out and just say that one thing I do know about this is when you put yourself in a position where you can pre-move more effectively than your opponent, right? That's like a big bullet strategy. And in this position with the rook on f3, and now he has this ability where he can check on e1 and e2, everybody, just over and over again, and the white king has no choice. So that prevents white from doing what you'd want to do. Like if white even tries to pre-move, those pre-moves are going to get broken if your king is in check. Remember that, right? So that's a big part of the strategy, putting yourself in a position in that time scramble where you can make more moves and pre-moves than your opponent, right?
No, that's absolutely perfect description. Yeah, I have absolutely nothing to add. That's one of the reasons, everybody, we have these moments during the commentary that we get specifically excited, and that right there was a big mistake by white. He put himself in a bad situation. And again, we see this concept of not taking pieces. When that king came in, for black, it didn't take the H pawn. It came straight to g4, g3. And sometimes...
That's a brilliant... I didn't think about that. That avoids checks, right? He's avoiding checks by...
And
see, I just learned something.
And it could facilitate stalemates, if you're scrambling amongst pieces. So I also just found out that Hikaru is going to be taking our raid, so maybe he gets a little bit of a scouting report on the players. I'm less worried about it, but... all right, so...
But I'm looking at the game now with Bortnik and Firouzja. I think that's a logical place to be, given that if you're just joining us, everybody, this is the first ever Bullet Chess Championship. This is the qualifier #1. You see the schedule right there below my co-host, and this is there's a lot on the line, really exciting stuff. But this game here is the only remaining undefeated player versus everyone's pre-tournament favorite. So if Bortnik can take down Firouzja, this is a big test.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also always taking a look at the players' connections, like the level of latency, which is always...
And Firouzja does not operate with the best connection on a regular basis. Honestly, I mean, I don't know what his connection or what internet he's rocking there in Iran. We have seen him stream. And so we know that can be a laggy experience. But,
that's that could be a tall task for anybody. Let's see if he wins this one. He's up
on time and he's up a pawn. This is what Firouzja does.
Rook b3, we'll see, maybe knight d7. Also, a lot of backwards knight moves possible, like knight e8, knight d7, knight h7. I mean, you name it, it's there. Maybe f5 was playable as well.
Watch out for that king to get itself mated on e3. Now the rook has the second rank. If this knight can come into f4 or d4.
Danny, there's a concept that we've we've barely touched upon, and it's the fact that knights are extremely tricky bullet pieces.
Yeah.
And king d6 now is coming. Rook f3 was hanging. But
And
see,
this is one of our first opportunities to do it because, as you said, I mean, it's we haven't had a lot of focus on one game. But I think as this event goes on, everybody, it's going to allow Levy and I to focus our efforts from a commentary perspective because we're going to the players are going to tell us who to focus on. Whoever's leading the tournament is going to get our attention, right? And right now, Firouzja just did what everybody wanted him to do. Even though he's the top seed, he just beat the only undefeated player in the event going into that round.
it's crazy. It took us 9 rounds to not have an undefeated field. That's I mean, this guy Bortnik was on 8 out of 8 against average rating probably 2,800. So that's ridiculous. Who in the top is a surprising individual? Well, here
I'm looking at it. I pulled up one game so we have a board going while you and I discuss that. But I had the same thought. Gabix 9-4, an international master, holding his own right now with 7.5 out of 9. Wow.
Yeah, 2,600 is pretty. I feel like that might be even on the lower side for Gabix. I've played Gabix before, and I've seen Gabix at about 2,700. But
okay, so that's somebody to keep an eye on for sure. Here we go with one of the 8 out of 9 matchups being Firouzja versus Grandmaster username Villagra. I will check out who that guy is in just a second.
Yeah, let's do it. That's Cristobal Enriquez. He plays for Minnesota. There we go.
Okay. Another Pro Chess League player. This is why we actually have the tech, and during the Pro Chess League, all players in the league have a tag on our server, if you want to know about our tech, that actually converts their username to their real name for us, so that we don't have these moments of trying to guess who the person is because we don't know their username.
I was also just informed in the chat, we've got Penguin versus Krekor. So
okay,
that's a matchup.
That's a big one.
Yeah, we see them oftentimes during the Arena Kings. Yep.
Yeah, this is a matchup that you have covered many a time. Many a moon, Levy has been here.
So I also find one stat hilarious. So there's this gray little number by the player's scores, and this is I believe it's the sum of your opponent's scores, right?
Yes.
So Bortnik's on 8 out of 9, Firouzja's on 8 out of 9, and Viagra's on 8 out of 9. Bortnik's got 50-point tie breaks. The other two have 45 and 40 respectively. That's insane. I mean, Bortnik's been playing the best of the best the entire time.
He's been playing the best players. I mean, his only loss was to the highest rated seed in the event. So yeah, there you go. Shout out to the chat, by the way. This has been a very, very difficult show. Thank you to my co-host I'm sort of trying to drive the wheel here and find games. Levy's doing a great job keeping an eye on chat. Let us know if you have any questions. Tell us who you're rooting for. Levy will keep me updated. I've got Firouzja and Villagra, 2 of the leaders. Shout out to the Chess TV chat as well. Just saw you there.
How y'all doing?
Shout out to JD Cannon, who just gave away a membership actually in the Chess TV chat. That's cool, and it alerted us right there. Cool. All right. What do we got here? Firouzja versus Villagra. Looks like Firouzja's on track.
Yeah, there's a straight deep on here that I'm not really sure where it's at, but I think he's gonna give some checks and take. That was so amazing, Danny, because if he had gone Queen H8 and taken the rook, Black could have pushed the deep pawn and queened. That was the idea there.
In a rare situation here, Firouzja's actually down on the clock.
Rook C1 to mate, maybe.
Oh, I don't know why Black didn't go for that. I agree. But he still actually has a chance. Look at Firouzja's time. He's pre-moving it out now.
Yeah,
Only 1 second, though. You got to take those pieces. Now he's in a position where he can pre-move, so it's going to be over. As soon as you get in this spot where there's no more checks, no more things to worry about, what I didn't understand is why he didn't do what Levy was saying, everybody, which was that back in this position where the knight actually had a potential mating net, that's how you get Firouzja down on the clock. Right here. Forget the H-pawn. Instead of this move knight b6, play rook c1, rook c8 with this threat of mate. That would have, even queen d7 could have been met by rook c6. I mean, I don't know. I mean, of course it's bullet, but I agree with you. There seemed like a little bit of playing against Firouzja nerves there coming out.
Yeah, that generally happens in time scrambles, and you see this at club level as well, even in classical games. Time trouble brings out the absolute worst in people. How were you as a time trouble player? I'm curious. Were you always stoic? What were your nervous tics?
In time trouble?
Yeah, like in classical games.
Like OTB time trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know that I was the best time trouble player. I think I typically had an approach of avoid time trouble, and I
Yeah.
pushed myself earlier than. So I think I would. What I meant by that, everyone says avoid time trouble. But what I meant by that is I think my style would lean more toward, let's say, in a typical 40 moves in 2 hours, sudden death one, right? When you get that like 20 minutes left to make your remaining 15 moves, I would probably be more likely to like push right there and speed up and be more likely to make a mistake than I would be that guy who just thinks and gets himself under 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I think I really pushed it to avoid it because I don't know that I handled myself well under time pressure often.
No, it's a great point. And I mean, a lot of people, I know we're doing a bullet broadcast here, but a lot of people in the chat could actually learn from that. It's the concept of like, losing the game on move 38 because you have 2 seconds on the clock. It's the same
Right.
thing as losing the game on move 28 with 10 minutes on the clock.
Right.
Point, if you play too quickly or play too, you'll probably be more upset if you lose the game uh, in a time trouble situation anyway. So
Yeah, and I think psychologically, I mean, I mean, not to put on the therapist pants here, but I coached for many years too, as you do now, and
mhm.
I guess we all coach in some version doing commentary. By the way, this Ferrugia game with Polish Fighter, this is interesting because this is the one area I think Ferrugia can lose sometimes, which is he's playing a stronger player. I don't think anybody would debate Jan Christoph Duda is still better than Ferrugia in over the board chess right, at this point in their
Yeah.
careers. And that's why Hikaru is the favorite against him because regardless of how fast he is, if he gets outplayed, and they can maintain fighting distance on the clock, that's where he's going to lose. And of course, right as I say that, Duda blundered that extra pawn. Black was up a pawn here, but even here, I mean, this is not totally simple as long as Duda can pre-move his way with Ferrugia.
Yeah, I've played Jan Christoph Duda before in Bullet, and he's not the world's fastest player, especially not in time trouble. In fact, didn't he just
Yeah,
blunder
and
the F5 pawn? Okay, but
I'm
I mean,
learning that now.
of course, it's Bullet.
I'm learning that now, as you said, that this is an example of why Ferrugia is in a different class at Bullet. This
That's
type of thing.
Look at this. He played Rook H3, and if he had taken the knight with the rook,
Yep.
there was Rook H6, but he hit him with Rook F8, and now
Yep.
just easy peasy.
And in this position, everybody, Levy's pointing out the trap here that JKD's tried to set, but Ferrugia saw it and gave a check to take the knight with the rook. So just brilliant stuff. And he's going to finish with a win now. Ferrugia seems to be finding his groove. To go back to that point we were discussing, what I often said as a coach is that sometimes players are in those critical moments, Levy, like that situation I gave. 15 moves to make, you've got 25 minutes, right? And they get so nervous there. They get so nervous in that critical moment that they sort of like mentally create the time pressure, right? They create the situation to go wrong. And as a coach, I would often advise that you have certain players that do that. I often define them as the scientists. You have gamers that you coach, kids that are like they make up for their lack of knowledge because they're just so competitive. And then the guys that are scientists and they're perfectionists and they want to be perfect on every move and they get themselves under time pressure. Some of those players are often better at blitz because they don't have the time to outthink themselves. They just have to trust their intuition. But in over-the-board games, they get themselves under time pressure because they're just psychologically, they're too nervous to make a mistake. And so often you really want to push those guys to manage their time better.
Yeah, I mean, time management is important. I mean, we're watching today's chess. This kind of chess in particular, it's obvious that being in low time is it's a disadvantage. But time management is one of these things that, without the element of pre-moving, especially as we have Blitz and Bullet online, it's so essential. And what do you think of the philosophy that at a certain level, the amount of time that you're down costs you certain material?
Yeah, it's hard to put the exact number on it. It's kind of like people trying to say the bishop is worth 3.5 and the knight's worth 3, or right. It's kind of hard to do that. I feel like I was never that kind of coach, but I do believe that there is something to that for sure. Especially we see that in the PCL often. Someone has 10 minutes. It's an equal position, but someone has 10 minutes. The other person has 2 minutes, and you know who you're picking in that scenario, right? Regardless of how good someone might be at Bullet, if you create a scenario where you have less time and the critical moment is not on the board yet, you're going to make a worse move in that critical moment. And by the way, one of the things to point out here, everybody, we're covering both Ferrugia and Bortnik right now because if you look at the standings, they are both sitting at 10 out of 11. And fun fact, they've already played, and Firouzja won. So that means if Firouzja's going to win this, Levy, as the top guy, somebody else is going to have to beat Bortnik because he already did it.
Yeah. These guys are going to be neck and neck for the remainder of the day. We're basically halfway through. We're playing round 12 right now. Round 13 is about to start, and I mean, you can't ask for more dominant over 12 rounds than 12 out of 12. But Bortnik has 11, right? It's
Right.
I mean, what, Danny? What?
Yeah, exactly.
He's won 11 out of 12 games. This is just
And
absolutely
look
insane.
at Firouzja's game here. This FIDE master, TJK Tiger. I don't know who that is, but that's a
And
clearly somebody holding his own.
I've
Very
actually
impressive.
seen his username. I believe he might have been victorious over Hikaru in a recent title Tuesday, if I'm not
Interesting.
mistaken. So, yeah, I don't know why I know this about so many players. Uh,
Well, you play a lot of chess, you stream a lot of chess. I mean, yeah, this is impressive right here that this guy's holding his own, but looks like Firouzja is going to get him here as long as he can deliver the goods before time runs out, and indeed he does. Checkmate on b2.
and Firouzja, yep.
So
So,
Firouzja keeps pace with Bortnik right now. Both
oh,
of them sitting with 11 out of 12.
Danny, that's crazy. There's not a single person in the tens. There's only 9.5. That's Polish fighter and Georg Meyer. And I mean, have they played? Or are they just going to have to
I
play?
wonder if they just drew. No, Polish fighter just beat Jeffrey Zhang
No,
in
okay.
his last game. This was the final position here. And Georg Meyer impressively beats his fellow rival in the Pro Chess League, Sean Sargisian there. So Georg Meyer just led the snowballs to the PCL finals, semifinals in San Francisco, and is holding his own today. But let's not turn it back on other big names, right? Penguin
Georg
GM,
Meyer, yep. Penguin GM.
he's got 9. We see him right there in the top. You've got Hammer with 9 out of 12 as well.
Hammer, that's really impressive. 9 out of 12 because I feel like Danny. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we sleep on Georg Meyer a little. No,
Yeah.
I don't know if do we sleep on Georg Meyer or do we sleep on Hammer? It's kind of weird because I don't believe either of them are 2,700 players, right? If we look at
But we talk. Robert and I have talked about that a lot over the last couple of years of the not the Pro Chess League, excuse me, the Speed Chess Championship. That we make these judgments based on we're humans. We see certain players playing a lot of online bullet. You tend to think they're just better than other people, right?
yeah.
But some of these top GMs like Meyer, he doesn't play long bullet sessions. That's not his thing. But he's got that kind of style that if he did, you could imagine him maintaining 3K pretty easily because what is he? He doesn't make a lot of blunders, as you've said, right? He's very consistent. That kind of style, as long as you have a decent mouse speed, just makes you a very tough nut to crack. And okay, here Firouzja may indeed be cracking that nut, even as I say that. Although look at that move, Rook D8.
Yeah,
Despite losing the bishop there, he flipped the script on the D file. That was a nice save.
that was such a ridiculous tactic to find in a
Find
bullet
in
game.
bullet.
I mean, and it's not even the fact that it has to work; it's the fact that it has to be effective. It's the
Yeah.
fact that it makes you think. And as I say that, Farouj is up 10 seconds on the clock, and he didn't even flinch. It's
Right. So
yeah,
he knows. But okay, so this is an example where Meyer has clearly held his own with Firouzja on the board and may even be better. But look at the clock, everybody, and it's a bullet championship for a reason. Um,
oh, this is amazing. I mean, Georg Meyer is such a strong player. It's absurd. He's all right. He's going for a repetition. I don't think he's going to get it, but he's going to get a
nope.
rook off the board. King c6 now. Bishop c7. Okay. Uh, oh, that hung a pawn.
Keeping an eye on our buddy Bortnik, he actually just went down to Polish fighter,
Ooh, that's big. That's big for the standings.
and it was It was almost checkmate on the board. That was a huge upset there. Not only does it help Jan Krzysztof Duda get back in the mix, but the fact that he actually beat the leader and gives Firouzja a chance to be the in sole first place for the first time if he can beat Meyer.
Wow, that's a big result. That's another player I do not consider much when I think of top tier bullet players.
Right.
But I gotta say, Jan Krzysztof Duda has been playing more matches. He's played
Yep.
matches against Eric Hansen. I've seen him play against Firouzja.
Yep.
I played him once in a 20 game hyper bullet match. That was very very fun. And yeah, I mean it's just cool to see all these ridiculous. Whoa,
Dude, what are we gonna do when we do the hyper bullet match? Can you imagine us trying to do commentary for that? Like we're already struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, Keeping up with these games is so hard. Hyperbullet. I mean, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a Hyperbullet championship. It's happening. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it's happening. I mean,
Oh, it absolutely should. I mean,
wow. All right. Well, we had drama to get here, obviously, with Firouzja dropping 2 half points along the way, but he is still the tournament leader, and now he needs to defend it against somebody that I think a lot of people want to see what happens here. This is Tang's chance. Go big or go home, right? This is his chance to get back in the standings and
yes, this is big.
keep pace with, the highest rated bullet player on Chess.com currently at 3301.
97. And, we talk about system players. Well, look at this. We've got like a classical Queen's Gambit declined. And the players are literally playing theory ideas from 19th century.
So Tang is kind of the opposite of, where we talk about Jan-Christoph Duda, Meyer, being able to outplay Firouzja because they're stronger than him. He's not in Firouzja's class over the board, but he's one of the guys that, okay, would I take Tang in a Hyper Bullet match? I mean, Hyper Bullet, okay, honestly, I wouldn't. I would still take Firouzja, but Tang is so fast, right?
So fast, yep.
Look at the clock here. He's definitely maintained pace, at least to this point.
Yeah, so far so good. Obviously, Firouzja is trying to steer the game to where he's better, which is obviously tactically. But have a look at this G5. The knight is planted on F4. White is completely paralyzed. He's going to look for moves. But Tang is quick at coming up with counterplay. 92, though, traps the rook.
Yeah. Firouzja just missed 92, everybody. The rook was trapped.
Okay. Anyway, so now D4.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he liked this position, actually, Danny. Maybe he's so ahead of us that he prefers this.
He prefers the knight over the exchange, possible. Because
And
now
now
the G2 pawn is falling.
Rook G2, maybe he has something even
Rook G2
better.
Rook G2, Rook G3.
Oh, that was nice. Look at you.
So he had to save it with knight B3. Okay.
What a beast.
But this is a rare case where, okay, I mean, we gave him the benefit of the doubt because he was Firouzja. I think he missed 92, and I think he almost tried too hard because, you know why you can tell? Look at the clock. These guys don't get down on time unless they're overthinking a little bit.
Yeah, well, what? Rook A5 is impossible? He
goes for it. Rook B1. Can he survive mate? Here comes Firouzja.
Rook A2. Look at that. Rook D2.
He saves the day, but the king's coming to E3.
But the pawn is going. So what do we do?
If you push the H pawn too far, watch this rook just swing back and then go for mate on the H file.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, obviously
seconds.
this is. Oh, rook takes. He could have taken on.
Oh, he had rook takes F5.
Oh, he's got it.
He's got the stalemate. Rook. Renegade rook. Renegade rook.
Danny, why is he not taking on
a stalemate? But he might flag Firouzja. I think Tang wants to win.
Yes,
he's not going for the draw.
I think he also wants to win. This is incredible.
Oh, he had the draw. He had a renegade rook, but now he better win. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, now Tang has Firouzja has the win if he just gives up the rook for the pawn.
This is ridiculous. And look at Firouzja pre-moving.
He might want to give up the no. He's outplaying him on the clock. Oh my gosh, I've never seen anybody beat Tang in one of these time scrambles like that. OMGs or snaps.
Andrew Tang goes down. Yeah, I didn't expect that. That was
gingerbread schnitzer butter. That was for Dunkabunk. Wow.
Come again? What was that?
Yeah, I was speechless. Right. Sometimes gibberish comes out. Okay.
Wow.
That was Tang's opportunity there. He held his own, and then didn't maybe take the draw when he should have. So.
And Firouzja has a higher rating than he started out with. He's 3305. Is that?
He's at 3305. Somebody just said he beat Magnus' record, or he just tied Magnus's record. Crazy.
So Magnus's peak was 3305, or was it 33? Yep. Unbelievable. Wait, so if he wins this game, Danny, this is record watch. We gotta watch this game.
It. We could be about to witness Firouzja going into the record books here against Sergei Zilgalko. If he wins this game,
it is the record. Magnus was 3304.
That's it. We just watched history with Firouzja beating Tang in a position he really didn't have any business winning, but that's what you do in Bullet. And Firouzja is now the all-time record holder of the highest ever peak rating for Bullet on Chess.com.
Danny, you wanna make a post so that chat can clip this? Maybe we can tweet it later.
Yeah, we should. Somebody please. I know it's against my style to be awkward on camera. LOL. But please clip this so that we can congratulate Firouzja on passing Magnus Carlsen with the ultimate record. And guess what? That's a challenge for Hikaru Nakamura right there. Time for Hikaru to buckle down, turn off the stream, and go set an all-time record, baby. We need it.
It's a personal challenge to our amazing streamer friend. Can he beat Eric Hansen better than 40-3? 40-3? But
oh man,
that's I mean
crazy
40 to
stuff.
3 is just, I mean, what is that?
And look at Faruja. This is what the kid does. He's 15 years old. He's a super grandmaster in the making. You're looking at a star from Iran on the rise, and wow. And yes, he will be playing in the Junior Speed Chess Championship, along with actually the current reigning World Junior Champion, also from Muram, Paramov Magsudlu, who's currently about to lose, unfortunately, to Hammer. Sorry about that.
Oh, Danny, Polish fighter Georg Meyer.
Let's do it. I'm there. Done. Polish fighter's going down on the clock, but can he swindle?
Oh, 95! 95 was
Oh, yeah, 95.
Queen.
Queen was falling. Oh, you missed it.
Now he's going, oh, and Polish fighter loses. Georg Meyer.
Oh, my gosh. That was his chance, dude. You spotted it. 95 on the clock.
Danny, did you watch the Arena Kings?
Right here, everybody. This was the fork emote. Gone wild. Let it show. Go ahead, Levy. Sorry.
I was going to say, I don't know if you watched the Arena Kings. If you didn't, just lie to me. Say you did.
I did. I always watch you.
Robert Hess. Oh, thank you. Robert Hess was playing against Jemil and was completely winning and had king and queen versus king and knight. And it was a time scramble. And he hung a backwards knight move, forking his king and queen. And my heart broke. I think the collective hearts broke. Yeah, that evening.
Backward knight moves should be illegal. They probably are in Alabama, but they are getting more progressive down there, I hear. So I mean, backward knight moves are rough. To stay up with. So, Levy, we have a 14 out of 15. Faruja, shout out to Bortnik, who is maintaining pace in the sense that, you know, his only losses currently are to Faruja and Polish Fighter. If you're just joining us, everybody, he's kind of sandwiched in between these two guys that he lost to. That's Bortnik in second place. But we could go anywhere right now because there's so many strong grandmasters, so much excitement. I kind of want to go to Bortnik since we just mentioned that, since he's throwing down against fan favorite Andrew Tang here.
Let's do it.
One of the things I want to mention, everybody, while we have us not necessarily a break in the action, no such thing in Bullet, but let's bring back the rules one more time, because one of the things that I want to remind everybody of in this format is that not only does the winner qualify their way into the bracket, so yes, they want to win this, but the top four, so the next three places, second through fourth, also earn a spot. So as this comes down to the wire, even if we have a clear winner, following the drama in those spots is going to be just as exciting, because that earns you a spot into the round-robin qualifier, which the winner of that will also join the main event. And, by the way, that event also has a $2,000 prize fund. So I actually did the math, Levy, if we come back to the games here, and figured out that if somebody wins a qualifier, if somebody gets second in both qualifiers and then wins the round robin and then does well in the main event, that's how you make the most money. So if they throw the games to make sure they get second, they win money in all three events, and then they win the Friday round robin, that's how you would win the most money in the Bullet Chess Championship. I figured it out.
So let me ask you a question. Is this a conversation you have over dinner, or is this a conversation you have over breakfast, or is this like a shower thought?
This is a shower thought. Honestly, it's where I get my most of my good work done.
Okay.
Is in the shower. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, rook takes
all the necessary work and the good work. Oh, he missed rook takes f2, but he found rook takes c6. He's up 17 seconds on the clock, though.
Yeah, but Danny, he just lost all his pawns, and Bortnik is running loose in the arcade, taking everything right now, or the candy store, arcade or candy store.
Has Bortnik had a knight in like every freaking time scramble? Like that guy understands the knight.
Sorry, just nearly. Oh,
no, you're fine.
94. Oh man.
He found the knight, but he's only got 3 seconds. Look at them make moves in rapid. I can't follow this. 1 second.
He's gonna flag
2 seconds. Okay, he's looking for a draw. Tang's gonna flag him. Tang got him.
Andrew Penguinovich Tang.
I was gonna say Andrew bleeping Tang.
Yeah.
This is Andrew Tang working the scramble. Scramble eggs, please. Scrambled eggs. That's how he likes them.
Gentlemen, that's why we need to clean up our waters. Okay, that right there, because Andrew Tang is alive and well, and he's blossoming, or he's turning into a mutant powerhouse. I mean, meanwhile, Danny, Farouche's opened up a 2-point lead on the field.
We didn't even follow his game this round because we were too busy with Tang Bortnik. But
I'm actually completely mind blown. The kid is 33-11, and rather than try to maneuver his way into the quarterfinals, he might be making a statement. He is 15 out of 16. That's
Could you see him winning this 24 out of 25? I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I mean, he's that good.
and if he wins 24 out of 25, I mean, I don't know. What can I even promise the chat? That's
Right.
a 96% win rate. Like what?
With every win, everybody, he cements his place further in the all-time rankings. Again, if you're just joining us, Alireza Firouzja, right there at the top, has beaten Magnus Carlsen's all-time record for the highest ever peak rating at Bullet on Chess.com, which was previously 3304. Hikaru Nakamura is not that far behind that, I guess, and now in third place all-time. But Alireza Firouzja, with every win, is setting the bar higher right now. The hype is real, and now he's got Grishuk. This is fun.
Night before here, classy move from Grishuk. I love how Grishuk has 3.5 less points than Alireza.
And he's having a good tournament. He's gained some rating points.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, he hasn't. He's lost 22.
Okay. What's minus 22 to Super GM? Meanwhile, Meyer and Polish Fighter have a clasp on third and fourth. They've kind of been going. Where's our fight for like the fifth spot? We've got a huge.
Yeah, that's a good question. If we look at those guys in the rankings, you've got Bortnik, Polish Fighter, and Meyer currently. If it ended right now, but Tang and Grishuk, Zagalko, these guys are not that far out, right? Hammer just won. He's now at 12 out of 17.
97 in this game. Alireza had 97.
97 is winning. If you take...
Wow.
Oh, he had it. Going for back rank.
Wow, he had 97. And there you go. So I'm better than a 33-11. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, I retire from chess.
Right here, everybody. He had the move knight e7 instead of the rook coming over, which would have been a fork on the king and queen. And if the rook takes it, boom goes the dynamite on the back rank.
What is this game? Knight f7, queen b5. What's he doing? He declined to draw from Grishuk. Is he going to try to flag him?
But he's down on the clock. Tip your hat to the old man, Sasha Grishuk, who was already seated in the quarterfinals. He got one of our invites, and he might be showing why. For those of you who thought, why would Grishuk get an invite? Look at him hold his own in a position that, okay, technically only he could win this game. The question is, will he handle the time? Okay, on an over the board, he could win, but on the clock, who knows, right? That's what Firouzja does.
This is obscene. Is he actually going to flag him queen and 3 versus queen and 3? This is unreal.
I think Firouzja is going to flag him. Look, Grishuk is making an old man mistake right now, actually trying to make good moves. Play like the young kids, play bad moves. There you go. Just make a move as fast as you can.
Wow, Alireza might flag Alexander Grishuk. Wait, Grishuk's getting up on the clock now. Hold on a second. I predict this game ends with a sneaky check. With a sneaky check that wins the queen.
Sneaky check. Somebody plays a check they have no business playing and flags the other person.
Yeah.
It looks like what Alireza's going to do. If he checks too much, it's going to be a draw. He beats him on the clock, though.
Unreal, and he gets the flag.
Oh, dude.
This is ridiculous. I mean, I don't even have any words. He's 33-13. Danny, the day that you beat Grishuk in a bullet game and you get +2, all right, like that'll be a day. I don't have anything to say. There's no comparison I can possibly draw.
And there we have it right now. We're trying to keep track of just how good this kid is as we prepare his player card, assuming he is going to qualify his way into the bracket of 8. And we can't even keep track of his rating. In fact, not even that image is accurate because he just won again. And my producer here doing his best. Shout out to Aaron. Quick Studio C shot right there. Aaron comes up with the images as fast as he can. Fastest memes in the West.
Wait, where am I? Guys, you don't have the camera angle on me. Where am I?
No, you're here in our hearts. That's all. But dude, he's already 33-13.
I have nothing to say. I mean, if you think about it, like 3011 for Alexander Bortnik, 33-13 is +300. I mean, when you beat someone who's 300 points lower than you, you get like, queen f3.
Queen of 3.
Fire just hung a queen against them. I'm sorry. I was.
Which move? Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about this game. I've
got a lot of games open. I'm sorry.
I know. I do too.
blurted out a move. I'm just so excited. Rook c4. Chat, you do it too. 92. That's what Bullet's all
92,
about.
just blurt out a move. I can't even find Georg Meyer's game right now.
I think Georg Meyer might have resigned. I'm sorry. I was just so excited.
All right. That's why it's not up. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, I was sitting here looking at Firouzja's brilliance against younger Bortnik. This is the older brother, younger in title, international master Mikola Bortnik, who is the brother of the person you see there in second place, Alexander Bortnik.
This actually might be a game that Alireza loses. And the crazy wait, has he disconnected? Is his internet gone? Is he mad?
That's how you beat Firouzja. You send a sonic wave to Iran, and all the servers go down.
And there he goes.
Disconnected. Disconnected.
Wow, that
He's got to come back. If he comes back, he'll get back in. But there you have it. That's lucky for him. I guess he had a game to spare in the standings.
Oh, he's gonna have more than that to spare, I think. I mean, the younger Bortnik is the younger Bortnik is keeping pace. He wins again. He's 15 out of 18. It's just how are these people so good?
Nihal Sarin just won again too. Another youngster, like we said, who will be in the Junior Speed Chess Championship, beats Radoslav Wojtaszek of Poland. Very hard to follow any of these games. Shout out to Amon Hambleton of the Chess Bras, who's actually just made his way into the top 10. Look at that, a huge win by the Chess Bra over Oparian Grigori. He now sits at 12.5 out of 18. And wow, that's impressive. Amon holding his own amongst the super GMs here in Bullet. Go Amon.
Yeah, and before that he beat Andrejka, which is Andrei Yasipenko, and before that he beat Jeffrey Zhang, and before that he beat Sandro Mareko, I think.
And before that he was 5 years old in Canada, just not even thinking about chess. No. All right, well, we'll see if Alireza recovers with his connection. Now he's back. Yeah,
he's back.
Good
and
to
he's
know
back
he didn't
against
disconnect and lose the whole thing.
He's back against the countrymen. He's playing against.
How fast do you if your internet goes wrong? How fast do you try to reset it and do the router? Or you start screaming at the hardware, right?
It depends how long. It depends which religion you believe in and how quickly you can pray. I think. I mean, you can unplug a router, right? It's 30 seconds, but I think prayer generally.
Right. Please.
If you believe in nothing, just a lot of pleases, probably just 20, 30 seconds.
All right. Well, he did just unfortunately fall big time. So I believe I don't want to say we're safe ever with Alireza, but if you're keeping track of the records he's been setting at 33-13, he just lost a game because of disconnect, lost 15 rating points, and is now back to a very humble 32.98.
Yeah, I mean, Danny, I have a question. Why are we acting like 32.98 is impressive? Yesterday, Russell Westbrook had only the second 20-20 game in NBA history. I think we should, focus on.
Yeah, this isn't even a big deal. Penguin GM, though, now with 14 points, we've got him thrown down. Keeping an eye on actually Amon Hamilton and his rise, as we just mentioned. Let's see how he fares against the Polish Super GM with 3 names, JKD, Jan Krzysztof Duda. Currently, Amon is getting outplayed. Looks like White has the much worse version of a major piece endgame with that C-pawn being super fast.
But he
pushed it too prematurely. Jan Krzysztof pushed it too fast.
Got a little too excited. Amon does tend to get into low times. Oh, Danny, there's another thing. C2, Rook C8 was winning.
That's why he had to stop and think. Although, in hindsight, I wonder if Amon should have just taken the C-pawn instead of the trick once Black saw it.
What is Amon? What's he doing here?
Yeah,
Wait, is this a draw?
He's going to get the draw. JKD just blundered it. Oh, he's got Queen H6. Queen G6, now C2.
Just going to make noises. G4.
My ability to overreact prematurely for a blunder is second to none.
Wait, so is this a draw with Queen F7? Okay, I guess it's just too much.
It was.
Queen
With only
E4.
1 second, though, I'm not sure Amon can pull it off. He's trying to pre-move, looked to swindle his way.
Too little, too late.
But shout out to Amon. Shout out to Amon. Shout out to our producer here. Internet connection problems, connectivity issues, the kind they don't make a pill for.
Alireza lost
Grishik
again.
is playing against Bortnik. What?
Alireza lost again.
Did he?
Yeah. I know it's weird.
Oh,
but I
wow.
promise that's actually what happened.
He's on full tilt, back to 32-84.
And oh, Danny Bortnik versus Grishuk is an
I
insane
know
time.
that's where I
Oh,
was, and it's
under
about
the
to end
rook.
on the clock. He just missed where it takes a 5.
He lost all his pieces. And wait, this is gonna be photo finish. And Grishuk gets,
Is he gonna mate before the preview? If he doesn't,
but
oh
Grishuk still
wait,
wins on time.
yeah. I thought he was gonna lose on time. He beat Bortnik on the clock, and again,
Bortnik was up a rook and pawn for rook in an endgame and just decided to give all his pieces away to charity.
this position right here, he played the move rook f5, which looks like a mouse slip actually in hindsight. Move 85 rather than playing rook takes f6 or pawn takes f6 or pretty much any other move, and he was still going to be fine. But the reason he did lose, he had 1.2 to 2.1. So shout out to Grishuk for putting himself in that spot and being up on the clock. And again, as the next round gets underway, let's actually bring up the bracket and remind everybody that Sasha Grishuk is actually the only person competing in this qualifier who already has a spot. He's ranked number 3, at least as far as our predetermined invitee list. Um, and yeah, so those wondering maybe why Sasha got that invite, maybe you're seeing a little bit of that spice right now because, I mean, if you look at the top 10 now, he's in the top 8. He's on his way to competing here amongst Chess.com's best and earning his way in the old-fashioned way.
Well, I think he also wants to get some practice under his belt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. It's
Yep.
it's gotta have these experiences, these great players. Also, could it, Danny? And I don't mean to jump the gun here, but could it just be fun?
Yeah.
Could you just be playing for fun?
Are we allowed to enjoy ourselves playing chess, right?
It's a crazy concept, all right? Don't let any significant other anywhere hear that. But
Right. Well, what's funny, when we started doing these prize events, Levy, a lot of it was kind of like based on that mindset. Like we didn't know how many people would want to compete in this, and we did the first years of the Speeches Championship,
Mhm.
and then the third year, and these grandmasters and who are the best in the world playing for frankly much bigger prizes at this point in the Grand Chess Tour or other things, but they're happy and excited to play because many of them throw down for several hours in an online blitz session anyway once a week, right? Sometimes some of them many more times than once a week. Guys like Nakamura, Ferrugia, right?
Yeah.
So as we started doing these big prizes, and these guys are like, "Well, I'm going to play 2 hours of bullet anyway. Like I should just play this tournament and maybe win $1,000 along the way."
Oh, it's these tournaments are.
We've got Grishik preparing right there, bringing out the cavalry. We'll keep that PG though for those of you who are not into that kind of thing.
By the
But we've
way,
got.
Danny,
Sorry, go ahead.
and I promise this is the last time you're gonna hear this, but Ferrugia just lost another game.
Ferrugia
Yeah,
just lost another game.
yeah, I'm sorry, okay, but
Why would you to Yakov?
well, I mean, that's not the worst opponent that you could lose
No,
to, I
it's
suppose.
not. But I just didn't know that Yakov was going to be Ferrugia. I know that was like one of those memes. To Yakov.
Like, oh, what does that mean, Danny?
To Yakov. Right? No, he lost. No, Yakov's a stud, dude. But I just don't consider him in the class of some of those guys. But Ferrugia on tilt right now, and this is something that happens in Bullet when you don't have time to take a breath. Right? Something that happens to me when I don't have time to take a breath is I turn purple. Something that happens to them is they lose a few games in a row.
Yeah, this is wow, Danny. At 20 rounds done, Chad. This is getting exciting. Maybe Ferrugia's just baiting us in. He's watching the stream. I'm gonna see. Is he actually in the chat? Oh no, he's not. He's focusing.
As
I'll
he
be
should be.
pressed.
At this point, he's no longer in the lead, with Tang and Bortnik coming all the way back to tie, and with Jean-Christophe Duda returning the favor to Grishik there in
Yes,
terms of a rook-ending flag.
we've got 5 players separated by half a point with 5 rounds to go. Danny,
Ferrugia
we
has
couldn't have
got
asked
to
for more.
right the ship here.
We could not have asked for more action. I think this is wow. And Ferrugia in round 21 has to play Shant. That is.
We were just talking a moment ago, everybody, about whether Ferrugia would win this thing running away. We were calling for 24 to 25, and he lost the game. Disconnected because of a bad connection. You can actually see the bar that everybody has measuring your connection to the server. That's really for you or for observers. That's an FYI, not something that really Chess.com really has any control over. But we saw Ferrugia disconnect, come back, and he's been on tilt ever since. He's lost several games on the board. Now it's not because of connection. He needs to gather himself here.
He's doing his best, but I mean, look, you're tired. You're
Yep.
definitely tilted after losing several games, and now you've got to play one of the best juniors in the world. There's no rest for the wicked. It's
What time is it in Iran right now? That might be another question.
2 a.m., 1 a.m.
Yeah, we'll get somebody to check on that stat there.
It's midnight. Okay, so 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Cool. How is it? Oh, the 30 minutes. Yes, got it. Bishop c6 in this game.
Okay, Ferrugia looks like he's riding the ship here for a moment on the. Oh, I spoke too soon. I thought he could take a3. He can't because of a discovery.
Knight c6 BC, and the pawn was not promoting because you
And
don't have
now
to
he's
take the
going
knight
to
at the
lose
end.
again. Ferrugia is in full tilt mode right now. Right now, he's taking a breath. I wouldn't be surprised if he lets himself run out on time here, to be honest.
Yeah, Chad is all over him. Major tilt. What a bad time to be on tilt. All right, we gotta go see what Bortnik is up to against Zhigalko. Bortnik Zhigalko, what's gonna happen? Penguin Hammer. Penguin
Wow,
Hammer is
Penguin
looking
Hammer, I'm there. I'm there. Haha. This is good old-fashioned family fun. Someone's going to get flagged in a dead
yeah,
wrong
this is
position.
gonna be a flag. We're
Yeah,
gonna see
this is
Bishop
going to be a flag. We both said the same thing. Like this is not this stopped being chess an hour ago in this game.
Yeah, Penguin is just gonna totally flag the guy here. I feel.
Yep.
Wait, Danny, it's not too late to play King B3 and lose with Bishop D1 mate.
Oh, uh-oh. Oh, he can play D6 though. That's going to be enough to flag Hammer, I think.
Oh, this is insane.
He's
He's
got the
gonna lose
queen. Oh
queen.
my god.
Penguin loses.
Jesus.
Penguin lost.
Oh, oh my gosh. Shout out to Hammer for holding his own in that incredible time scramble.
But Bortnik won, so Bortnik is our leader after 21 rounds, 17 after 21.
Oh my god, looking at the finish here between Grigori and Meyer, but what just happened there? Oh man, well, one of the weird issues about Bullet is when you live by this flag, you die by the flag, right? And in some of those cases, Tang was just flagging him ruthlessly, and then suddenly Hammer was like, "Oh, I have to play for a win, or I'm gonna flag," and it changed the whole nature of that position. Meyer winning again, by the way, not going away. Also in second place, ahead of Ferrugia.
Oh, Georg Meyer has 16 and a half. You're absolutely right.
Dude, again, you said it earlier. Meyer is sneaky good.
He is, wow, that's extremely impressive. And he's got 4 more games.
Yep.
He's got 4 more games to go.
A guy that we mentioned earlier is a potential dark horse, not having his best day. Jan Nepomniachtchi, super grandmaster.
Hey, man,
right now playing against some of these guys that throw down in online bullet sessions more than him. Maybe struggling to keep up a little bit, but he has a chance to do the whole field a favor here if Nepo can beat Bortnik.
Danny, Ferrugia's opponent is not at the board. He's disconnected.
Well, so that's how you turn things around.
Ferrugia's getting a free point.
Ferrugia got a loss because of time, and now his opponent is down on time. Actually, it's the opposite here, since we've got his opponent. But we look at the tilt. He's tilting right now. All right, well, it looks like against Gadir Gusianov, he's going to recover with this flag, so we're not going to watch that exciting action.
I mean, we might as well take a quick timeout. I don't know.
I guess so. We'll let it happen. There you go. Timeout.
Bortnik is beating Nepo. He's good.
Bortnik is good.
This is crazy. If he actually beats Nepo, he has 18 points. That's disgusting.
Ooh, that White King's going to get mated up there.
King G6. You got Rook G1 though. King F5 is his idea.
Okay. Barely holding on. Nepo's up on time, so if he can not get mated, he might have a chance.
Just Bishop F4. Oh, but Bishop F4, Bishop G5 is not a threat because the Rook just takes. Look at this. He's trying to mate him with
Bishop E1 check coming now. Oh, Nepo freaking sees it, dude. He spotted Rook E1 mate and played Rook E6.
What a guy. Bishop B4. Maybe you can play.
Now he's got mate of his own.
He's turning his own mate.
Rook H8.
Wait, this is crazy.
Oh my gosh, look at Nepo turn this around, dude.
Jan,
he's up on the clock and winning on the board.
And there goes the bishop. There goes the bishop. He's taking it. And
worst thing he can do now is try to play too many good moves. Now you're up on the clock and on the board. Just make fast moves and flag your opponent.
Oh, is he going to get mated somehow on his own? That would be.
He might. Nope. He's going to try to bring the rook to the H file. Yep, move the
Look
king
at
and
that.
mate. Look at him set up that net with no time.
That was filthy.
Dude, look at everybody take a second and appreciate how ridiculous this was. Even though he had the time, but he pre-moved all of these moves, which is recognizing the potential for a mate on the side of the board. He pre-moved rook h8, pre-moved rook g5, and the reason is if you move the king first, then you actually block your own rook and let the king out of the net. Then he pre-moved rook g5 to create a shield for the king, and then pre-moved king to g6. Like that was so fast, it was ridiculous.
Such a skilled maneuver. Georg Meyer suffered a loss. Had he won,
Okay.
he would have been in clear first. He is now tied with Polish fighter Hammer, 16 out of 22, a point out of first. And
wow.
he's playing Khalil Musavi. All the top guys have already played each other, so they're going to download now. But Firouzja's playing Jospum. Penguin.
We now have that three-way tie. I think I'm fascinated by whether Tang can hold his own against Grishuk, right?
Yep. I just mentioned that game as well. So we have this knight e2, knight g3 structure from Penguin. He plays this a lot. Yep. I actually started playing this against the Benoni structures myself after watching Penguin play some games like this. So, wow, bishop e3. He's going to castle. And you basically just tell black that, yeah, trying to play with f5 or b5 is going to backfire. So we see this knight h1. It's weird looking, but the knight is going to come back out. Don't worry, everybody. And going to get into the center.
Ooh, queen e7 was actually almost trapping that bishop on e3 if he had seen it
a
few moves ago before rook e1.
But look at this time advantage for Penguin. 10 seconds already.
I honestly feel like...
Whoa! Knight g4 with bishop c3 on the board. Knight d1!
Tang has to retreat, but here comes knight takes e3 first. And now you're in trouble on the dark squares. You're going to trade everything on e3 and put a bishop on d4.
That's how the GMs do it.
Yep, he goes for it.
It was kind of strange giving up the bishop, but okay. And, well, I mean, this is a position you can't really lose as white. In fact, you take with the bishop on f5? Probably not.
Yeah, he's going to take with the knight, and Tang has just absolutely held his own here, and he's fighting to stay amongst the leaders here, everybody. I mean, you look at Firouzja, Bortnik, and Tang right there, all with 17 out of... Oh, I misspoke.
Firouzja won.
Firouzja has apparently recovered fully from his mini tilt and just won.
And we're watching Penguin convert this endgame now against Grishuk. This is completely winning endgame. All the pawns are just too much for black to handle. He's going to plant his king on a4, take the a-pawn, and that's it. And that's it. Penguin beats Grishuk. I mean, come on.
Game over. Wow. What else have we got here? Zavin Chessmood, the leader of the Eagles, beats his own teammate, Sean Sargsyan, by the way. That's Armenian Eagles on Armenian Eagles crime.
Danny, can we break the rules of Swiss and let Firouzja and Penguin play?
Like just again and again?
Yeah, I mean, they're tied for first with 2 rounds to go. Can they just play best of 2? And
I wish we had an ability to do that. We've never done a 25-round Swiss before. This was like, people were like, hey, let's do this. We'll have open qualifiers. How many bullet games should we make these guys play? Someone said 25, and nobody challenged him. We could just make a mini match. I mean, we can do that later, Well, if they end up tied, what ends up happening? Oh, it's the tiebreak score. Okay.
Yeah, Firouzja's got a destructive tiebreak, but him and Bortnik have a tiebreak that's almost equivalent. 233.75, 233.5. So, wow, this is crazy. We've got some games remaining, some king and queen stuff. And, all right, one game that's about to wrap up. Players in the double figures, 11.5, but we're only interested in the players that are nearing 20. So,
by the way, International Master H. Wegner has been amongst the last games, like almost every round, by the way. I know that's a really random, weird stat, but H. Wegner has, every time I've clicked on like the final remaining games, he's one of them. Funny stuff.
So,
all right.
We've got a really funny matchup. We've got Amon Hamilton going up against Firouzja. Can he play the role of spoiler as Penguin goes up against Yakov?
He's beaten Firouzja before. I mean, obviously a lot of people lose to Firouzja in matches, but Hamilton is capable of beating Firouzja in a single game. You know what the best comparison is of what we have here? It's like March Madness. right? Because
Yeah.
you've got all these great players who would win a match, right? Give Duke an opportunity to play Michigan State in 10 games. How many times do they beat? I don't know. If they actually figure out how to get the ball to Zion, anyway, that's a long story. Ruined my bracket. Um, but in a single game, that's how 16 seeds beat 1 seeds, right, in the tournament.
Yeah, one game changes everything, and I mean, just look at the way Ferrugia plays. I mean, he pushes this tempo onto you and attacks you, and you've got to find such accurate moves.
Yep.
The best way I can describe this, person in my childhood, actually, we were talking about Bullet. I think we were even talking about Hikaru back on ICC, and he said that they find a way to set you problems on every move and give you things to think about, even if they're not there.
Right.
And it's just look at this. But you know what? Kudos to Amon. He hasn't thrown in the towel, and he's very equal on time.
Yeah.
So,
no, agreed. And now it's going to get tricky because you see Amon slowly sinking down on the clock right as we say that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he has kept it messy despite having a king on d2 and.
Oh, Rook E8 traps the queen. That's so nice.
Oh wow, what an awkward trap with the queen there.
And now Bishop C3
takes
with
C3.
Queen E1.
Just precision that hurts. Right.
Queen A1 mate, something like that.
Queen A1 was almost mate. King E7 escapes anyway. But no, I was looking at the same thing. Okay, now he's just gonna advance forward. He's up on the clock and completely winning on the board.
But
wow, look at that.
Danny,
that is
Penguin's
a bullet
game.
move.
Penguin's game versus Yakov is total nonsense, but I think he's flagging.
I'm looking. There it is. Got it. Penguin wins again, maintains pace with the leaders.
Oh, this game was totally bonkers. There's like an extra rook flying around the board. And
I have no idea where to go right now. We've got Nepo versus the older Bortnik.
Danny, it comes down to round number 25. We've got 4 players and potentially Georg Meyer. If Georg Meyer can defeat Grishuk, which it's looking like he can't, it's going to be a draw.
Why do I not have Georg Meyer's game versus Grishuk here?
So
weird.
After 24, we've got 2 with 19. That's Perusian Penguin. We've got Polish Fighter, Jan Krzysztof Duda with 18.5, Hammer with 18, Georg Meyer 17.5, Bortnik with 17. So.
Wow. Well, okay. Remember, everybody, everything in this last round matters, not just for who wins this and takes the top prize, earns a qualification spot, but also second through fourth place are giving themselves a guaranteed second opportunity. Not everybody else will have that guaranteed second opportunity to play in the round robin qualifier on Friday. Remember, Levy, the round robin will be interesting because we'll have a little bit of both, right? You have different opponents, but you do get a mini match against each one, right? 4 games, 2 with each color. So that'll be a little bit like the kind of bullet we've talked about, where you get a rhythm, you get a flow against a particular person's style.
Yep.
But then you got to find a new person too. So. All right.
So let me just quickly tell everybody who our big 3 are playing. Farouche up against Anuel. That's I believe that Jules Moussard, the French Grandmaster. He played on the Marseille Migraines. Penguin GM is up against Jospin. That's Alcantara. And Polish Fighter, that's Jan Krzysztof Duda. He's playing Khalil Musavi. Khalil Musavi beat Alireza.
Farouche.
Yeah. So.
And Bortnik is against a username I don't know and I'm not going to try to figure out. But okay, where to focus? I mean, we've got Farouche's game that's moving along quickly. Looks like Farouche is actually making quick work of Moussard here. Penguin GM has a bit more of a struggle here against Jospin.
Yeah, and he's down on the clock. Jospin is obviously the best of the 3 opponents, I would say. I think Jospin is an incredibly talented player. There's a knight hanging on G4. Oh wait, Danny, Penguin,
did you just swindle him?
G4. What's going on?
Oh no, Jospin
E6?
finds a way out.
But E6 and then he takes with the rook to avoid rook G1. Can Penguin somehow make this tricky? I don't know.
He's gonna try swindling his way to a perpetual, perhaps. Nope, not anymore. And now White is in a tough spot because Black can check a lot more with these rooks. Oh,
but they're good. Oh, the pawn's down.
Oh no, getting tough here. But there's nerves. You can tell by the way they're playing this. There are nerves here. Farouche, by the way, looks like he won his game.
Bishop. Are we going to see Bishop D4 and then Rook H8 mate? That's the question.
That's what he was going to try for. Tang only has 3 seconds, but this is where he's going to pre-move things out.
Here come the pre-moves, Danny. Oh my gosh, it's like Ride of the Valkyries. Ride of the Valkyries.
Who can pre-move better?
Oh.
He gave up the rook. He goes for the last second. He had it. No. Tang had it.
Tang had it, and
wait, and the bishop is still hanging. What is he doing?
This is crazy. This is completely crazy. And Penguin goes down.
Oh my
and Danny,
gosh, that was crazy.
Firouzja's still playing. It's unclear
against Moussard. And he's down.
And he is down. Yes, Jules Moussard is completely winning. Well, not anymore, but still probably winning. And
he's going to win on the clock. This is the worst spot to be in if you're Firouzja, because he can just pre-move the rook on the light squares, and they both lose. Is Jan-Christoph Duda good? No, Jan-Christoph Duda went down too.
Wow, that was the most disastrous final round we could have anticipated. Every single top seed lost, but Firouzja wins on tiebreak.
Every single top seed just lost. My gosh. What a way to end the tournament.
That reminds me of the candidates, right? With Magnus in the final round.
Yeah.
Losing.
Oh my gosh. Magnus and Kramnik both lose in 2013, and Firouzja and Tang give us a little bit of a flashback here, and then it was Jan-Christoph Duda's tournament to win, and he lost too.
I don't. Chad, you got any questions? What did we just see? So
I know it's hard to make out the tie breaks there, Chad, but you can see that is indeed why Alireza Firouzja has qualified himself for Saturday. We're going to take a very, very quick break, finalize some things, and check on all the standings, and then we're going to be right back with the official word on how this event wrapped up and send things off to tomorrow with International Master Levy Rozman and Grandmaster Robert Hess. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And wow, what a finish. Not the way you imagine always celebrating a victorious tournament, but a win's a win, as they say, Levy. And Alireza Firouzja, despite losing his last game, we have that position on the board right now. We're going to take a quick look at why Jules Moussard put Firouzja in that tough spot. But despite losing first, let's give the congratulations where it's due. Firouzja almost went on full tilt. He lost 3 in a row. He recovered and won. Levy, how much of a force is he going to be in the main bracket?
Well, now he's got a date with Hikaru, right? They're going to be playing on the weekend, so I don't know if we have a stat we could pull it up how many times those two have played each other, but I would probably predict it's something like 200-300. There's no preparation you can do. You got to wake up, you got to feel good, got to get good sleep, caffeinated, and he's a force to be reckoned with. But as I mentioned when we started the show, I have no doubt in my mind that there's no one else Hikaru would rather play and showcase his strength against. He's had a great year. He's a lot of flack for, will his streaming affect his classical chess and all this jazz and nonsense? And he's won almost all events that he's touched. So it's going to be exciting.
Those of us who know Hikaru know that he seems to be more relaxed and enjoying his chess than ever, at least in the last few years, and it's showing on the board. He just won the U.S. Championship. He's playing phenomenal chess, so the haters are going to hate and say things about people streaming, but Hikaru's playing some of the best chess he has, and I agree with you. I think that without streaming against Firouzja, you're really going to see Hikaru show his class, and don't be surprised if we have a new all-time bullet record set. But if you're here but weren't here for the whole thing, that's another thing that happened during today's show. Alireza Firouzja reached an all-time high of 33-13, beating Magnus Carlsen's previous record of the highest bullet rating ever on Chess.com. But he did lose his last game, and I wanted you to talk to the fans, everybody, about why Jules Moussard's approach was so good here. In this position, he played the move g4, which put all of his remaining pieces on light squares. And the fact that Firouzja had a dark square bishop and was down on time, tell everybody how much that is just bullet death and what a genius move by Moussard.
You mean, move 62. Yeah, this is a really instructive moment for a couple of reasons. First of all right, after h4.
I'm bringing you into the board here, buddy. I forgot to do that. There you go.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I had it up on my end as well. So,
by the way, Levy, you asked for a stat, and let me just say that in 519 games, Hikaru Nakamura has won 326, lost 134, and drawn 59.
So percentage-wise, what is that? Let's get some quick maths in the chat.
That's that's a pretty good record for
Yeah, it's a pretty
Hikaru.
good record.
But I wonder. I mean, okay, this is getting real. I wonder what the stats would be if you talked about just the last 6 months, right? Not their
Yeah.
all-time career, because Ferrugia has made strides in his class. So, anyway, go ahead. We wanted to highlight, some of the bullet skills these guys possess, and in this situation, Musard put him in a spot where he could just pre-move against Ferrugia, and Ferrugia was just busted.
Yeah, I'm curious about this G4 approach from a bullet perspective. In some ways, it could just be kind of a hasty move. Like you're in time trouble, you need to push something, you're looking to trick your opponent. But if you trade the pawns, in many ways, it would be easier to play this position for black because you can run your king to the corner. I suppose the corner is kind of far away because it's not so hard to draw king and bishop versus king and rook.
Right.
But Alireza plays h4 and just kind of says, well, I have the glue here, right? The f6 bishop
Right.
protects h4, and it's very easy for me to make moves. I'll just play bishop g5, bishop f6.
I wonder if he thought about that. I wonder if he thought, I don't want to go into the endgame here because
Right.
my king is in the wrong corner, and didn't anticipate an easy time getting over to the right drawing corner. Interesting stuff. Obviously, we're kind of knee deep down the advanced bullet strategy hole here, if there is such a thing.
No, I mean, it is important to note here, like White's play is not so easy because if you wander too far with the king, I can always just push my pawn and also push my king forward. And if you awkwardly stumble around with your rook, the light square strategy here from White is really important, everybody, because you've got all your pieces on light squares, and the dark squared bishop can't touch you so long as you keep your rook and king on and pawn on the right squares.
Right.
Another bullet
And I guess that's what I was trying to highlight, was that we talked about these guys having so much experience, knowing that, look, I can't win this game on the board anymore, or at least if I do, I might die trying. I might lose on time if I try to make the best moves. So I was thinking that the light square strategy, as you said, right, putting yourself in a position where now this bishop can't stop you from pre-moving, right? You can pre-move in a way that can be both menacing and sort of safe of the bishop going to a square. And what we're saying, everybody, is you would never pre-move a rook to a dark square where you don't know what your opponent's pre-move was and they might take you. So you're trying to avoid those situations.
The thing is with the rook versus the bishop in this situation, if you see that your opponent is playing bishop g5, bishop f6, bishop e7, bishop f6, etc., you can start throwing in random moves like rook a6 where you pin your opponent's bishop, and that takes milliseconds off their clock. I'm not sure what the time situation here was. Obviously, it seemed as though he was down about 2 seconds. You're not going to outplay a rook with a bishop if you're down like 3 seconds versus 6. It's almost impossible. You have to start doing something else, like pushing the pawn. And then what is it, like for 20 moves, basically, we see shuffling. And then here on move 85, we see it's the same position. Look at this. Go 20 moves back, exact same position. Just shift the pieces over.
That's hilarious.
And g5 was a tricky attempt, but Alireza probably blitzed out bishop g5 because he's very good at anticipating things like this. And yeah, well, I mean, this is the flaggiest of the flags, basically, from Jules Musard, but it got the job done. I'm more curious how Alireza got into such a bad time situation from a middle game, but okay.
Yeah, we can take a look at that. I mean, even with these guys who are just so good at bullet, they're human, and maybe he was nervous. Okay, we had this sort of unique variation of the classical e5 on move 6 is not the most common way that black approaches this, but okay. So all right, this by non-traditional means you reach a structure that's very very common in a Najdorf, where you've got this black plan on the queen side, or the king side, excuse me, with f5, and white has the huge strength on the queen side. But let's just click through till we see that blunder, because you and I didn't get to catch this one. We were focused on Tang's game. What happened? Let me know when you want to stop. I'm just kind of...
I was actually gonna also say that this was the same opening as Lenier Dominguez versus Timur Gareev, I think, in the last round of the U.S. Championship. So, yeah, this is...
Oh, really?
Yeah, so rook b6. I mean, we were looking at this game. I might even jump further ahead, like right around here. Oh, no, this is too far. Around here.
Yeah.
This is where we peeked into this game, queen e4, and I'm just so confused how it got so bad. Like, I just don't understand. But credit to Jules Musard, who was trying to trade. Yeah, I guess he basically offered a queen trade, and Alireza really wanted to win, so he gave away d6 and then went for a sacrifice, which well, this might be Ali Reza's style of chess,
Yeah.
simply backfiring.
Yep.
So
No,
yeah,
I think you're right, and I think that obviously these guys aren't looking at their opponent's games. He's not sitting here evaluating Tang, but clearly he does have the mindset of wanting to win because you know what? He's assuming Tang was going to win. All these guys are assuming that the other guy's going to win, right? So that's why he's playing for a win.
someone in chat pointed out that on move 32, Ali Reza could have played the move Queen takes E1.
Oh, Queen takes
And
E1. It's
I
not necessarily mate though,
yeah. So
because
after Bishop
White
E3,
can play Bishop F2.
yeah, but here I think Rook F2
Rook takes F2.
is just
Wow.
filthy. That's just game over.
And the point is that if the queen comes to E6, everybody, you have Rook F3 check,
That's amazing.
protecting the
Wow.
bishop. And if the king moves, you have mate on F1. Who pointed that out in chat?
That was move by move, which is also the
Nice
name of the
move by
book.
move.
So
That was a combination that would have taken the game and the event in clear fashion, rather than kind of the backdoor your way to a victory. But look at this combo again, everybody. Queen takes E1, takes after Bishop E3. Bishop F2 is the only move, or Rook F1 is checkmate, and the key is you take with the Rook.
I'm so mind blown that he didn't find that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Ali Reza Fallujah. Like, this is.
Yeah. Well, I think there were nerves, like we said, right? I think these guys, were a little bit tight. You could see it because I feel like the last few rounds, we may not have been seeing the best chess out of any of our top finishers there. A lot of weird scrambles. We haven't really said anything about the fact that Andrew Tang, Jan-Christoph Duda, excuse me, and Georg Meyer all qualified their way into Friday's round robin event. So we now know officially who 3 of the competitors will be on Friday, and that's Andrew Tang, Jan-Christoph Duda, and Georg Meyer. So exciting stuff for them as well.
Quick stat from Rakesh: last 6 months, 57 Naka wins and 34 losses. That seems a lot closer.
Yep.
Than we thought. I mean,
so
but again,
as predicted, yeah.
So that's, what is that, like 57, 34?
So it's still plus 23.
Yeah. No, so, it's 60-40. Hey, it's 60-40. I mean, that's fair game.
You can't name a lot of other people. You can't name a lot of other people that would maintain themselves at a 60-40 ratio. But in the last 6 months, that's kind of where Ali Reza's at, and that's why we've been saying he is the phenom that he is, who is now officially going to be throwing down. Now, if we talk about the bracket real quick, remember that by winning this qualifier here, Ali Reza Fallujah has guaranteed that he is the 8th seed. That's qualifier 1, and therefore would play Hikaru Nakamura. But if he wanted to play the qualifier tomorrow, and somehow came up with back-to-back victories in our open qualifiers, he would get to choose his opponent between Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Hikaru Nakamura. And not taking anything away from Maxime, but you might say that avoiding Hikaru Nakamura as long as you can is something that some people would like to do. So that's an interesting strategy. I wonder if Ali Reza is up for the task. But either way, if he just wants to rest out this week and prepare for Hikaru, then he's already guaranteed himself a spot. And if indeed he did that, then the winner, we would shuffle the standings based on who are the ultimate players to qualify, and we'll see who wins tomorrow's qualifier. Of course, if it was Ali Reza, then he would get to choose, and that would mean that who got second in this one?
It was Penguin, yeah.
It was Tang. So how would we figure that out? Actually, I got to talk to my team about that. There's nothing I love more than giving my director of events and esports. Shout out to Nick, by the way, who works super hard behind the scenes. I think this is his first official shout out on a show. There you go, Nick. You just earned it. So, shout out. Nothing I love more than giving Nick headaches while I'm live.
Yeah.
Giving Nick headaches while, like, I'm literally opening the door to a bunch of questions that he's going to have to figure out. I'm going to go coach basketball in like an hour. Like, I don't even care anymore.
That's amazing. It's 60 degrees in New York for the first time in, like, I don't know, 10 years or something. So I might shoot a ball into a hoop at some point this weekend. Maybe you could coach me, Danny.
Coach you? No. I mean, we're building a whole team here. I got a few guys with me. We've got a 5th and 6th grade club basketball team. We travel. Like, we are. These kids do burpees at the end of practice, even if they had a good practice. Like, you are looking at a hard bleep coach. Anyway, well, tomorrow you've got the call with Grandmaster Robert Hess. What did today's experience tell us about the format here? This is the first time we've ever held this event. What were your thoughts on how these players fared, and what was a titled players only 25-round Swiss bullet tournament? I'm laughing now that I'm thinking about it. Like, who said 25? I mean, although now that we're doing it, why didn't we make it 50? I mean, anyway.
Why didn't we make it? Yeah, I mean, I like the format. I think the chaos was managed. I think obviously we couldn't keep an eye on everybody, but ultimately we had a main pack of about 5 to 10 players that maintain their position. And hey, I mean, if you've got a last round where every single player that you're looking at to get first place loses and then nothing changes, I think it was great. So the format was exciting. Robert and I obviously I'm humbled to be in the presence of two commentators I can only draw comparisons to and never exceed the quality of. So
wow. Well, I appreciate that. But no, this was a lot of fun, and you do an amazing job. For those of you who may be tuning into this event and somehow it's your first chess event, make sure you follow Gotham Chess. You can hold your mouse over the Twitch viewer and click on that extension and give Levy a follow. In just a moment, we're going to be signing off here and actually rating Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura, who's already started streaming. I think watching all these guys play Bullet maybe pokes the bear a little bit. Pokes the bear. He's like, now I want to play, right? That's something that happens when you watch. But I think we're ready with that, Levy. So on behalf of the whole team here, my partner, International Master Levy Rozman, the crew behind this event at Chess.com, I'm going to say that we're signing off. Stay tuned and tune in tomorrow because Levy and Robert Hess will have the call and help us fill out the bracket and figure out who else is going to qualify into the round robin on Friday. So peace out, everybody. Thank you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Take care.